It's important for the community, but it's important for us as a whole of the big local, because it's our legacy that we're leaving behind. And as you can see, lots and lots of people came, so they really appreciate what we've been doing.
This is really our main legacy project from Catton Grove Big Local, because what we want to make sure is that we're leaving something which is going to be sustainable for the long term. This is a community centre, but it's also the centre of the community. And we need to make sure that after Big Local, that this space contributes towards being able to provide the facilities and income so that the community that's running it going into the future is going to be able to look after it and not struggle.
It's so smart, it's not the idea of a scruffy community centre that people have in their heads, and I think that just makes you feel valued. It's funded my own project, community allotment. We've had a community chest grant for that most years, which has paid the rent and paid the public liability insurance, which it wouldn't have kept going without that. So that's been a personal thing. Friends of Waterloo Park. That was started off with, it was an idea in Catton Grove Big Local. I'm all for gardening projects. 30 people came to the first meeting, and it's had such enthusiasm from the start. And that, it's a startup thing, Catton Grove Big Local, and it's been very effective.
One of our other projects is we set up the Friends of Waterloo Park, which is now an extraordinarily successful enterprise, and they're their own charity. It's now thriving, self-sufficient, generating its own money, having used our money, and working in partnership. They're getting funding through the City Council, and the City Council are getting it from pots to make all sorts of changes over there, and the place is heaving all of the time. It's a real success story.
Shirley from Friends of Waterloo Park just lights up when she's talking about it. That's been great, and they've gone from nothing and they've got something to be really proud of, and that should be shouted from the rooftops.
We've tried hard. We might not have always succeeded, but we celebrate all of the things that we've done positively.
What I've seen all the way through is just incredible dedication and real passion to get through what's been a period of some ups and downs. It's not always been easy.
To have a resident-led partnership has been a real challenge. Grabbing people and just saying, actually, no, your views count. And whether we haven't been overwhelmed by people actually on the committee, but we've had surveys, we've had engagement, and people have contributed. And we can look back, and Matt was very gracious earlier on and said that we've done some things that haven't quite worked, but we picked ourselves up and we've done something else which has worked, and it's actually been a bit better than what went before. And a lot of we all learn by our mistakes, and actually I think collectively as a community we've learned something, even amid some of the frustration. That I think that we'll look back as a partnership, and hopefully this community will look back and go, actually, we did that was good, we enjoyed that.
So I came along to the meeting. I thought, well, I'm curious as to what they're going to spend this £1 million on. So I came along to the meetings and discovered that, it was partly up to me how that money was spent. So I enjoyed having that input into it.
There's not very many other central points in Catton Grove, so people do look to the community centre for all sorts of facilities. And certainly during the Big Local period, we've been able to build up things like the health and well-being activities. This is where we've put on things for young people, and people do look to the community centre.
What do you think has been the impact of Big Local?
Somehow getting people together and not being able to do activities what people wouldn't have had access to before, and just to see a good community environment. Feel like I think more confident in themselves, know that they are able to do things that they didn't think they could do before.
Well, a lot of volunteers are retirees, and they've brought their own skills, but you still need that thing to bring people together, and then people think, I can do that.
The gift of the 10 years is that it's money that we are absolutely accountable for, and we can't just throw money at things willy nilly. But actually, where we've been able to do, we've called community chest grants. So it's been funding of up to £1,000, and it might be you've got a good idea. How about I do? And some of those things were great, and were a 6-week, 8-week project, or were a one-off event, or whatever they might have been. But some of those things have given that person maybe the oomph, the confidence, whatever it might be, the catalyst. Oh, I did that. I could do something else the same. And it's empowerment.
Empowering communities to be able to do things is better than just kind of the transactional expectations of councils and others providing things. So the more that we can get across the message that enabling people to take more control of their own lives and their own communities, the better. And certainly buildings and the work that we've done here, hopefully will give them the facility to do that, and the legacy of the not the funding that we leave behind, but the capacity to raise funding through the community centre will make a lot of difference. What we want to make sure is that as Big Local disappears, we have started something in train which will continue to develop even without us, so that what we started will just get stronger and stronger.
Not everything can last forever, because funding is a challenge and is key in a lot of these things. But actually, there's that phrase, and there's don't be sad it's over. Be thankful for what you had, and hopefully we'll be thankful for what we had.